Story 1. The Phantom Roommate, Ohio University. It started innocently enough, a creak of the bed, the sound of whispers, a feeling that I wasn't alone. College was supposed to be a fresh start. Ohio University, with its historic charm, felt perfect, until I moved into my dorm. My roommate Sarah and I laughed off the strange noises at first. Old buildings make weird sounds, we said. But then came the nights when I felt something sit on my bed. The weight pressed down near my feet. My breath would catch. But there was no one there. In the moonlit dorm room, it felt like someone else was always watching, even though we were alone. One night, Sarah and I returned to find our dorm room completely turned upside down. Books were scattered across the floor, drawers flung open with clothes spilling out, and the bed sheets twisted and rumpled as though they'd been in a struggle. We stared in stunned silence. Nothing was missing, but it felt like something, or someone, had made their presence known. The once cozy room now felt hostile and suffocating. We didn't dare sleep there that night. It wasn't long before the pattern began, waking up at exactly 3:13 a.m., drenched in sweat and paralyzed with fear. The glowing red numbers on the clock became a sinister symbol, almost taunting us. It was as though time itself had been marked by whatever haunted our room. Every night at 3:13 a.m., the air turned ice cold, and the shadows seemed to thicken, creeping ever closer. One night I woke to whispers, soft, chilling voices echoing through the room. I froze in place as I realized they weren't random. They were calling my name. I turned my head slightly and saw faint, smoke-like forms swirling around me, inching closer. The whispers grew louder, more desperate, pleading. It was then that I learned the horrifying truth. The dorm was built over an asylum cemetery. The spirits, long forgotten, were trapped beneath us. They weren't just haunting the room, they were reaching out, desperate to be heard. I couldn't take it anymore. I packed up and left the next morning, but even now, years later, I still wake up at 3:13 a.m., drenched in sweat, with whispers lingering in my ears. Story 2. The Suicide Room, Clark University. They called it the Suicide Room. Everyone at Clark University whispered about it but avoided speaking openly. Room 303 carried a sinister reputation. I'd always brushed it off as campus lore until I was assigned to live there. The hallway leading to the room felt wrong, as though it carried the weight of the room's dark past. The walls were peeling, the ceiling stained, and the wooden floor creaked ominously. As I approached the door, I noticed a faint light seeping from under it, glowing unnaturally. My heart raced. I could feel something watching me from the shadows. The moment I stepped into room 303, I felt it. An oppressive, suffocating weight, like the air had turned thick and heavy. The room was ice cold and frost lined the edges of the single window. The furniture was sparse, a bed with rumpled sheets, a small desk and an old chair. Scratches and faint handprints marred the walls, as though someone had tried to claw their way out. In the corner of the room near the window, a shadow lingered, shapeless, yet unmistakably human. It didn't move, but I couldn't shake the feeling. It was watching me. The window held an unnatural pull. Its frosted glass was smeared with streaks and fingerprints, as if someone had desperately pressed against it. Outside there was nothing, no stars, no moon, just an infinite, black void. And then I saw it. A figure with hollow, despairing eyes staring back at me. My breath hitched. There was no one else in the room, yet the figure felt as real as the frost on the glass. The longer I stared, the more it seemed to call to me, tempting me to open the window and let go. I stumbled to the desk, desperate to ground myself. That's when I saw it. A note, written in shaky, uneven letters with blood-red ink. It read, "The room wants you to stay forever." The desk was old, scratched, and covered with shadowy handprints that seemed to pulse under the dim, flickering light. My hands trembled as I backed away, my mind racing. The room didn't just hold despair, it fed on it, trapping anyone who entered in its cold, unrelenting grasp. I fled the next morning, leaving everything behind. But sometimes in the dead of night I can still hear the faint scratching of handprints on glass and a whisper that says, "Stay." Story 3. The Bell Tower Haunting, Huntingdon College. They call it the Bell Tower of Huntingdon College, a place steeped in tragedy and sorrow. At sunset, the tower looms over the campus, its stone walls stained with centuries of whispers and secrets. But it's the light that draws people in. A faint, haunting red glow from the windows that seems alive. They say the glow belongs to her, the Red Lady. Tonight, the air is thick, the sky a crimson warning, and the tower calls to those who dare to look too closely. The inside is worse, an endless spiral of stone stairs that seem to pull you upward against your will. The air grows colder with every step, the walls adorned with red streaks, almost as if the tower itself remembers the pain. And there, at the top of the staircase, she stands, her crimson form both beautiful and terrible. She doesn't move, but you can feel her eyes on you, even when her back is turned. They say she was once a student, a lonely girl who came to Huntingdon looking for connection. But isolation consumed her, and one night she climbed the tower and never came down. Now, she waits. Her glowing red form reaches out to you, not in anger, but in despair. Her voice is soft, but it echoes in your mind. "Why didn't you save me?" And just like that, you realize she's not letting you leave. They say the view from the tower is breathtaking, but no one sees it for long. The glowing handprint left on the ledge is a chilling reminder of those who couldn't resist her pull. As you stand at the edge, looking down at the empty campus below, you feel the wind pushing you forward. Her presence surrounds you, and you understand. This isn't a haunting, it's a warning.